Hello. So we have the box. I put it back together and I started cleaning up some of the sides, taking down the nibs so that way, well, not that one, but these are like nice and smooth. And do have to be careful when planing this because there is, like, if I plane from, always got to plane into the center of the wood, because if I plane that way, these fibers here on the end grain of that board are unprotected. If I do that, this is just going to blow out and going to leave a very ragged edge. So when I plane, I want to come this way, start from here, coming into the middle of the board. But then I run into the same problem with this piece right here, so I got to be very careful to not hit that edge. I've already done the back, and it's not perfect. If I can get the light to hit it, like right here, you can see that it's shiny and smooth, and then right here it's a little bit rough. That'll get taken care of after we glue it up. Yeah, but it's all smooth, so that these are all perfectly flush. Once again, after gluing up, I'll plane it again to get rid of any glue squeeze out. But the pen marks that were all here, and importantly, you'll notice that the lettering, I left one here so that way it can still be seen. So I have my X going to my X here, but you notice these other ones are all gone because I planed them. So can't show you now because it's put together, but on the top dovetail, there's I wrote the corresponding letter so that way I know where it goes in the finished product. But once you take it apart, it's all going to look the same. And I'm noticing here I had a little piece of tear out right here when sawing that piece or breaking it down. That's kind of like the natural wood fibers broke off. I don't know that I'm going to be able to hide it completely, but I will, because we do have to plane the top still, going around making this nice and flush. So that'll come down a little bit, and then put a little chamfer on there that'll hide it a little bit more. But I don't think I'm going to be able to fully get it to go away. Could patch it, but I don't know if it's worth that much effort. So I just want to show you the next step. So I want to get all these faces clean, get rid of all the pencil marks, get it ready so that way when I put the clamps on here, those nibs aren't getting in the way, preventing full compression. I've already done this side. I've taken the plane. I come into the center. You can actually still see there's a little bit of pen mark right there that I didn't get out. Don't know if I'm going to get it all the way through, but that will come out later. Like I said, after glue up and cleaning everything up, I can scrape that, because still, like, even right here I got a couple of chatter marks with the plane. Mahogany has a lot of reverse grain, so I could be planing this way going fine, this way right here, and it skips and the grain catches, and over here it'd be perfectly fine again. And that's just the nature of the wood. It's not that I'm bad at what I'm doing. It's just that's the way the wood is. Plane can only do so much. I guess I could turn it around and go both ways, but then you still have the edge of where it does reverse, and there are scrapers, and we'll look at that when we get there. So just to give you a quick demonstration of what's going on, this box is small enough, but I'm very sure to get these pieces into the device. I do not want that situation, because that there's nothing supporting it over there. So I want to. And right now it's resting on the bars. That's why it's not falling. But I'm making sure that this piece is being compressed within the vise, so that way nothing gets damaged. All right. So like I said, I've already gone this way, and I had it turned around. And like I said, I do not want to hit these areas. I do not want to hit this area here. These pieces will have to become flush, and that will be done a little bit differently. I got my oil in a can, just a quick swipe, and I'm just going to go over. Ooh, I don't know if you could hear that. That was the grain tearing. So something that we're going to have to look out for. And you may not even be able to see it. To help prevent that, I'm pushing through and then lifting. pushing through and lifting, and that that helps blend the center of the board. I still have pen marks there, so I know that I haven't hit that area yet. And that sounds horrible. I can feel it. I can see it. I'm going to try skewing the blade this way. See if I can get rid of some of that. I'm trying to get as close to that edge as possible. There we go. That little circular motion keeps the momentum going. Again, I'll have to scrape this. You know what? I'm not ready to fully finish it off, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a scraper. It's just a piece of steel that has a little burr on the end. It's like so you have the edge, and the end kind of hooks over, and whereas the plane won't get all of this undulating grain, this thing will. Because you're not really scraping the surface, it is cutting the surface, but it's at such an angle that you can't get tear out with it. So this is how you take care of those. And what I would, yeah, like right there, I can see. So if I were to sand this, it would be very evident that there is tear out right there. This tool gets hot because of friction, but that gets rid of the tear out. And I'm not going to go too much with it now because I'm still going to write on it. I'm still going to mark it up. So that's the face right now. So these perfectly flush. These perfectly flush. The front is looking good. I still have some tear up, but like I said, I'm going to work on that later. Now I've got to get the end grain, and I could do the same thing. I do not want to go all the way up the sides because in this case it's smaller. I could run out the side here because that's going with the grain. That would be fine. But this area, the pins on that board and the pins on this board will blow out. And it's such a so small compared to the size of the plane that I can't really do that plane halfway, turn around and plane halfway. Just won't work. So I am going to orient this in a stable way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use just a scrap piece, sacrificially. I'm going to set it up this way. And again, I want as much of this board in the vise as possible. So I'm going to come over here. Let's lower that a little bit because I want it to be very stable. All right. And then what I'm trying to do is get that sacrificial piece as level with the top as I can. There it goes. All right, so I'm completely above. All right, so what this does, and the reason you get that blowout is because there's no supporting fibers on the other end. Now there is. It's temporary, but it's there. And I don't know if I'm going to be going with the grain on this side. Like I said, to me it looks like I'm going to be going against it here, with it here, against it here. But actually, it's a little skewed. But so now I can take good, confident strokes all the way through and not have to worry about blowout. There is going to be some tear out on this piece, and I'm just going to keep going until I take a full width shaving all the way across, and I am close right now. I can see it. Working my way back and forth so that way I take an even amount over the whole board. And let's have a look at it. Get rid of all that. That feels good. Again, this isn't the final smoothing. Right now I'm just trying to get everything flush, and once I glue it up, the glue is going to squeeze out of here, and then I will go and make it look pretty. Yeah, if I put a clamp on it, that should be fine, but you know what, I'm just to be sure. And it's things like this, when you're hand planing, every piece becomes a little bit different, because like I said, I've got tear out here, so I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna take a little bit more off of this side. So these two outside pieces at one point were the exact same thickness. They came off the same board, so they were the same thickness. But because I'm planing this side, I might plane this one. I might take a couple extra shavings off this side than I do on this side, or vice versa, which means that these two aren't the same. So and it could happen on the inside as well. So when it comes to fitting, like the drawer is going to have to be fitted. It would be hard to, like, I've got plans about how big I want things to be, and it's great to work off of. But I can't rely on, so it's not like I can cut everything. So like my piece here is still too big because I made it the same width as this first board. But I have it. I don't know if you remember, we marked it early on with a little knife mark. Let's see if I can do that without getting my own way. So that way I know that the grain pattern is going to match. When the time comes, I'm going to match that. I'm going to cut one end here, and then I'm going to fit it to size. And I'm not doing it beforehand or any earlier than I have to, because if I plane a little bit more off one side or than the other, it may not match perfectly. So by waiting and fitting things to the box itself, you just guarantee that it's right. But I may make this box again and may use the same exact dimensions, and it would come out close, but it won't be exact. So let's look at the top, just because it's what I have facing me at the moment. Again, I'm going to clamp it in such a way that these two end pieces are firmly in the vise. I don't want anything moving. I'm a little hesitant to use this big plane, but I'm going to try it. And we're going to this. I won't do the whole thing to count because this will take me a couple of minutes, but just show you what I'm doing. Like right now, I can feel that this right here is higher than this piece. Same thing here. So this one, when I measured out for those dovetails, I must have been a little off. And same thing here. So I am going to start taking a shaving, and don't know if you can hear it. It hit here, but when I got off of this board and onto this one, it didn't take a shaving. You can't hear the sound. I can see it, I can feel it, but you may not be able to hear it. But right there, not taking a shaving until still isn't. So that's how high this piece is, and it's not much. I mean, you looking at it, you probably can't even see it. I can feel it, so I'm just going to keep working that piece until it is down far enough that it catches up with the other side. And they're getting closer. Oh, that is very close. And I got the same problem over here. So let's. And again, I don't want to go off the side over here because that'll tear out this section. And once I get it close, oh, that's going completely against the grain. You can probably even see that on the camera, which means I've got to plane this top piece going this way, but it's still not catching just yet. And you notice I'm kind of working in a circular pattern. It's just now starting to catch. You'll notice that when I'm planing like this piece, and like, so this piece I've discovered I have to plane going from here to here. This one's the opposite, or actually no, the same. So I can't really go for a full circle because this piece is the same way. And again, I can use the card scraper, but you'll notice I'm keeping the plane registered here as I go to make that cut. And what that does is kind of keeps everything all square together. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge, but you'll notice here, again, I'm keeping the plane registered on this piece as I push through in order to keep everything all level. And I will keep working on I will keep working on that until I am fully satisfied that all 4 of these corners are nice and flush and that everything is even. And I won't know for sure until I make the lid, and I'll put the lid on. Right now I'm just going for like a gross evenness. And once I get that, then I will stop, because after I glue it up, I'm gonna have to do the same thing again anyway. But again, all the lines done, or all my markings are gone, so I have to rely on what I put on the inside mark. I'm gonna do the same at the bottom. Again, I'm gonna make the bottom, and this will happen after it glues up. Or to make the bottom, make sure that the whole thing fits all the way around. That when I okay, nope, I was like right now, corner to corner, there is no discrepancy, so that means that I am pretty close down here. But that is enough for at least for the camera today. I will go and keep working on it. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna, the next step will be gluing the box up and then making the bottom for it. But that's just how we clean it up, prepare it for glue up, and we'll get together soon. Thanks for watching.